I want to remind you today, you're not lacking, you're not waiting to be equipped, and you're not chasing something you don't already have. You may feel ordinary, but you've been created with extraordinary potential. Everything you need to fulfill your purpose is already inside you. You are not empty. You are not behind. You are fully loaded. You've been crowned with favor, filled with strength, loaded with wisdom, surrounded by angels, and positioned for victory. When you walk into a room, you're not walking in alone. God has deposited treasure in you. Talents, ideas, dreams, solutions, strategies, things that will open doors and shift atmospheres. The enemy wants you to feel average, to live insecure, to settle. But the truth is, you are fully equipped, fully prepared, and fully anointed for everything ahead. Don't look at what you don't. Magnify the obstacles. Look in the mirror and say it with confidence. I am fully loaded. Sometimes in life it's easy to look around and feel like you're missing something. You see other people with connections, with resources, with opportunities, and you wonder, when is it going to be my turn? When will I be ready? When will I have what I need to rise, to shine, to succeed? But the truth is, you don't have to wait for something to come from the outside to validate what God has already placed on the inside. You're not trying to become something. You already are. You may not feel it, you may not see it, but everything required to live the life you were created for is already within you. There are songs you haven't sung, businesses you haven't built, relationships you haven't healed, and dreams you haven't even dared to speak out loud, but they're not far away. They're right there, planted like seeds deep inside your spirit. The reason you feel uncomfortable, the reason you can't settle, the reason you sense there's more, is because you're carrying something great. The pressure isn't there to break you. It's there to wake you up to what's been in you all along. We often think we need to become more confident, more educated, more connected, more supported, before we can step out, before we can believe, before we can move. The truth is, what you have now is not just enough. It's divine. You've been divinely crafted with precision. Your personality, your experience, your scars, your upbringing, your uniqueness, it's not by accident. It's part of the plan. You've been custom made with the exact gifts needed for your purpose. The world may have overlooked you. There's a reason why you keep getting ideas. There's a reason why you keep getting ideas. There's a reason why people come to you for advice. There's a reason why you feel drawn to something bigger than where you are now. It's because something inside of you is trying to rise. That's the treasure God placed in you. That's the evidence that you're more powerful than you think. You may not look like much on the outside. Maybe you've been through failure, rejection, or hardship. Maybe life tried to bury you. But the seed always carries the blueprint. The treasure doesn't disappear because of trouble, even if it's covered in dirt. Don't let discouragement silence the voice inside of you. Don't let it convince you you're disqualified. Don't let what's not working cause you to forget what you carry. You may not have the support you hoped for. You may not have the affirmation you expected. But the greatest things often start in hidden places. Joseph had dreams in a prison. Moses had purpose in the wilderness. David had greatness in a field with sheep. Nobody saw them coming, but what was inside of them couldn't be denied. That's how you have to start thinking. You may be in a humble place. You may feel behind. You may feel small, but what's inside of you is not small. It's massive. It's powerful. It's life-changing. And when the right moment comes, it will come out. People will ask where it came from. They'll wonder how you knew what to do. But you'll remember this moment. You'll remember that it wasn't something you found, it was something you already had. You don't have to wait until you feel ready. Don't spend your life trying to collect what God has already completed. You're not on a treasure hunt. You are the treasure. The moment you start believing that is the moment things begin to shift. You'll start praying with more confidence, your rooms with your head held high. You'll stop trying to compete and start walking in your own lane, with your own peace, at your own pace. There's a fire in you, but you have to stir it up. There's wisdom in you, but you have to trust it. There's healing in you, but you have to share it. You don't need more time, you need more faith. You don't need another confirmation, you need courage. Stop downplaying your ability. Stop watering down your value. You're not trying to become a masterpiece. You already are one. And here's the beautiful part. When you start seeing yourself the way heaven sees you, everything changes. You stop begging and start declaring. You stop shrinking and start shining. You stop hiding and start helping. Because you realize that you've been equipped not just to survive, but to serve. You've been prepared not just to endure, but to elevate others. You've been chosen not just to live, but to lead. So take a deep breath, let go of fear, and rise into the truth of who you are. You're not empty, you're not average. You've been chosen, crafted, and empowered. You are a carrier of answers, a vessel of hope, a temple of greatness. Don't look outward, look inward. Don't wait, activate. Time is now. The tools are within you. You've got this. Because the truth is, you were never missing anything. You've been full from the start. There will always be opposition. There will always be people who doubt you, circumstances that discourage you, seasons that feel too heavy to carry. But when you understand that you've been built with more than what you're up against, everything changes. What's coming against you is never greater than what's been placed inside of you. The pressure might feel real. The resistance may be loud. But the force within you is stronger than anything trying to stop you. You weren't designed to cave under difficulty. You weren't built to break when life gets hard, to overcome. There's something in you that refuses to quit. There's a strength that shows up when you should be collapsing. There's a power that rises in you when everything else is falling apart. That's not your personality. That's your divine identity. That's what happens when you carry something greater than what you face. Too many people shrink when life gets hard. They look at the size of the mountain and forget the size of their spirit. But you weren't called to back down. You were called to speak to it. You weren't placed here to be overwhelmed by life. You were placed here to shift it. There's something in you that doesn't just survive storms. It silences them. That doesn't just endure hardship. It transforms it. Don't let the size of your challenge intimidate you. Let it remind you of how powerful you must be for it to even show up. The enemy isn't attacking you because you're weak. He's attacking because you're loaded. He sees what's in you. He hears the sound of greatness. That's why the resistance feels so personal. That's why you face pressure others don't understand. It's not a sign of failure. It's proof of purpose. It's proof that what you carry is worth fighting over. But here's the good news. What God put in you, no enemy can steal, no delay can deny, no mistake can cancel, and no weapon can defeat. You may feel surrounded right now, but remember, you're not alone. Heaven backs you. Angels guard you. Purpose fuels you. Favor follows you. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are a force in the midst of them. The power in you doesn't bend to pressure. It turns pressure into purpose. It doesn't run from giants. It uses them as stepping stones. Think about it. David didn't win because he had armor. He won because he had courage. He didn't have a sword, a shield, or an army. He had a stone, a sling, and a belief that what was inside him was greater than what stood in front of him. That same spirit lives in you. You may not have all the external resources, but you have internal resilience. You may not look qualified, but you are chosen. And when the time comes, what's inside of you will rise and show the world who you are. Sometimes we pray for God to remove the challenge, but God often uses the challenge to reveal your capacity. It's not to crush you, it's to awaken you. You'll find out that you're stronger than you thought. You'll realize that you don't fold under fire, you forge. You don't just make it through, you level up. The fire doesn't burn you, it builds you. That's why the very thing the enemy sent to break you, God will use to bless you. You are not powerless. You are not unprepared. You are not weak. You are more than a conqueror. Not in the absence of trials, but right in the middle of them. The same God who brought you through before will bring you through again. And every time you come out stronger, wiser, deeper, and more dangerous to darkness. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by what's around you, take a moment and remind yourself what's within you. You've been filled with divine power. You've been equipped with supernatural strength. You've been planted with unstoppable purpose. The odds may be stacked. The facts may look impossible. But the truth is still standing. What's inside of you is greater than what's trying to stop you. Your gift is not a random hobby, a side interest, or an optional part of who you are. It is the fingerprint of God on your life. The evidence that heaven intends to do something unique through you. Long before you arrived on the scene, long before you faced a setback, long before anyone doubted you, or you doubted yourself, your gift was already written into your DNA. It was spoken over you when light first pierced the darkness and the universe took shape. That means you never have to worry about carving out a place for yourself or forcing doors to open. The moment you begin to trust what's been placed within, doors begin to swing wide on their own. The right opportunities are magnetized to authentic gifting. You don't need to network your way into rooms where you were never meant to stay. You only need to steward the talent you've been given, polish it, protect it, and present it with humility. When you do, your life becomes a runway for purpose to take flight. And what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Think of Joseph in a prison cell interpreting dreams for forgotten faces. He wasn't in the palace, yet his gift functioned at a palace level. He didn't wait for perfect surroundings to activate it. He simply used what he had wherever he was. That small act of faithfulness became the key that unlocked the entire nation of Egypt for him. Your situation may feel restrictive right now. People may overlook you, supervisors may undervalue you, friends may misunderstand you, but none of that can cancel the power of a gift in motion. Gifts are heaven's elevators. They may start on the lower floors, but they are wired to rise. Every time you pour out excellence, every time you add value without being asked, you push the button that lifts you closer to your destiny. It might seem slow between floors open, you'll realize that your unseen faithfulness was propelling you higher all along. Sometimes we let insecurity or comparison put the gift back on the shelf. We see someone else's talent shine, and we assume there's no room left for ours, but creation isn't a zero-sum game. The stage you're called to stand on was built with your measurements in mind. When you shrink back, the world forfeits a melody it was meant to hear. There will always be people more polished, more experienced, more connected, but none of them carry your exact tone, your precise insight, your irreplaceable perspective. Light doesn't compete with light, it simply shines. The more bulbs that turn on, the brighter the entire room becomes. So instead of competing, compliment, magnify what only you can bring. The space that looks crowded from a distance may have a vacancy with your name on it once you arrive with authenticity. You might say, but I don't know what my gift is. Often it's hidden in what feels natural. so effortless you assume everyone else can do it. Maybe you organize chaos without breaking a sweat. Make complex ideas simple. Draw out the best in stubborn hearts, or spot opportunity in tangled numbers. Pay attention to what lights you up and helps others at the same time. That intersection is usually where your gift lives. Don't dismiss it because it doesn't look spiritual or glamorous. A gift of hospitality can heal loneliness. A gift for coding can build platforms that carry hope. A gift for listening can rescue someone on the brink. Purpose is rarely about a spotlight. It's about service that leaves a mark. Once you locate it, develop. Nobody hands a concert pianist the stage after one lesson. Practice in private produces power in public. Study the craft, learn from mentors, ask for feedback, refine the rough edges, and push past the plateau where most people quit. Excellence is the language that gets you invited back once the door opens. It's not perfectionism, it's respect for the one who trusted you with something valuable. When you treat your gift casually, opportunities slip through your fingers. When you treat it with honor, opportunities gather like iron filings to a magnet. Guard your heart from bitterness. Sometimes your gift will serve silently for years before anyone applauds. David played his harp for sheep long before he played it for royalty. If you equate worth with immediate recognition, you'll abandon the field too soon. The applause will come, but it must never be your oxygen. Applause can fade faster than it arrives, but purpose keeps the flame alive, even in obscurity. Celebrate small openings. An internship, a volunteer slot, a single client. Because excellence at a small scale is the audition tape for a larger platform. When that larger platform arrives, remember that the room was never the goal. The impact is. Your gift making room for you is not just about your success. It's about whom you can lift once you're inside. Promotion without compassion turns gifts into idols. Promotion with compassion turns gifts into vessels that carry healing, innovation, justice, and joy. Don't let the room change your character. Let your character change the room. Stay teachable, stay grateful, stay generous. God's favor can take you to places hustle never could, but humility will keep you there. In the end, realize this. The room your gift prepares is only the beginning. Every level you rise to contains new doors that lead to greater influence. Each time you walk through one, the capacity of your gift expands, creating even more space for others to flourish. That's how God multiplies impact, by releasing one obedient, gifted person who refuses to hide, refuses to compare, and refuses to quit. That can be you. So step forward, polish that talent, and let it shine. Your gift is already turning the key in doors you haven't even seen yet. And when they open, you'll discover they've been waiting on you all along. Because your gift always makes room. There's a quiet pressure that creeps into our hearts when we feel like we're falling behind. You look around and see people accomplishing goals you haven't even started. You hear stories of success and wonder why your story feels so slow. You see someone get married, launch a business, graduate with honors, buy their first house, and you start to question your own journey. It's not that you're not happy, friend. It's just that part of you whispers, why not me? Why not now? But that whisper is rooted in a lie. The truth is, you're not behind, you're being built. Progress doesn't always look like forward movement. Sometimes it looks like stillness, like waiting, like preparation. But even in what feels like delay, something is happening beneath the surface. Just because it's not visible doesn't mean it's not valuable. God often does his deepest work in the dark, when no one is clapping, when there's no spotlight, when the applause is silent and the answers are few. That's when he builds character. That's when he strengthens your foundation. That's when he prepares you for the weight of what's coming. You see, a skyscraper doesn't rise without first going deep. The taller the building, the deeper the foundation must be dug. And for a while, that process looks like nothing. It looks like digging, like mess, yet going backward. But the digging isn't delay, it's design. God is anchoring you so that when you rise, you won't collapse. He's stretching your patience so you can handle pressure. He's teaching you faith so you won't be shaken by fear. He's building roots so that your fruit can last. Comparison is the thief of clarity. It makes you focus on someone else's chapter 7 while you're still writing chapter 2. But your story was never meant to match anyone else's. God's timeline for your life is unique. He's not in a hurry. He's not scrambling to fix things. He's not panicking over the missed opportunities or wasted years. He redeems time. He recovers what was lost. He rewrites endings that seem impossible to restore. And he knows the curtain. You may feel hidden, but you're not forgotten. You may feel buried. You've been planted. When you trust that you're being built, you stop rushing. You stop striving. You stop hustling to prove your worth. You start resting in the fact that even slow seasons serve a purpose. Even mundane days are part of the masterpiece. The job you don't love right now might be the classroom that trains your leadership. The friendship that stretched your patience might be preparing you to handle tough relationships in the future. The closed door wasn't rejection. You weren't denied. You weren't denied. You were protected. And sometimes what feels like falling behind is actually divine setup. The opportunity you thought you needed may have been too small. The platform you were praying for may not have had the stability to hold you. God sees the whole picture. He doesn't just want you to arrive. He wants you to stay. He doesn't just want you to succeed. He wants you to be strong enough to carry the success with integrity, grace, and peace. You may look at your age, your past mistakes, your background, and wonder if you've missed your moment. But hear this, delay is not disqualification. As long as there's breath in your lungs, purpose is still unfolding. Some people don't step into their calling until their 30s, 40s, even 60s. The time you think you lost is the same time God can multiply. One moment of favor can fast forward what looked like a lifetime of waiting. One right connection can make up for a decade of obscurity. When the season shifts, it won't be a slow climb. It'll be a divine acceleration. So stop measuring your life with someone else's ruler. Stop letting culture tell you what milestones you should have hit by now. God's plan doesn't run on a human calendar. He's not interested in speed. He's interested in depth. He's making sure your character can hold your calling. He's molding your attitude so you don't sabotage your assignment. He's stripping away what you don't need so you can carry what truly matters. And while you're being built, worship. While you're waiting, serve. While you're growing, stay grateful. Because one day soon, everything that felt slow will suddenly make sense. You'll look back and realize that the silence was sacred, that the struggle was shaping you, that the setback was the starting point for something greater than you imagined. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. So lift your head. Straighten your shoulders. Stop apologizing for where you are and start rejoicing for where you're going. You're not behind. You're right on schedule for something extraordinary. Trust the builder. The process may be slow, but the structure is strong. And when it's time to reveal what's been built in you, the world see what heaven already knew. You were never late. You were just being made. Life is full of seasons. Some are easy, full of sunshine and progress. Others feel cold, heavy, confusing, like nothing is growing. Like everything you planned is being delayed or denied. But no matter what kind of season you find yourself in right now, whether it's one of waiting, stretching, fighting, you are not unequipped. You are not exposed. You are not left to figure it out on your own. What's in front of you is never greater than what God has already placed within you. You've been prepared, even for this. It's easy to feel confident when everything is working in your favor. When you have clarity, when doors are opening, when people are cheering you on. But true strength isn't revealed in comfort. It's revealed in contrast. It's revealed when the answers aren't clear, when the resources are limited, when you feel outnumbered, outmatched, and underqualified. But somehow you still stand. You still show up. You still believe. That's the proof that you are equipped. Not because of what's around you, but because of what's within you. Seasons will change, but your source doesn't. And your supply doesn't run out just because the environment gets difficult. In fact, the harsher the season, the more you will discover what God has truly deposited inside you. You'll find strength you didn't know you had. You'll hear wisdom you didn't know you carried. You'll speak words that surprise even you. That's not coincidence. That's the evidence of grace that's been quietly building in your life all along. Just like a tree doesn't grow roots in spring, it builds them in winter. You are growing your spiritual roots in a hard place. There's something in you for every chapter you'll walk through. In the dry seasons, there is still water in your well. In the seasons of loss, there is still peace in your soul. In the moments where people walk away, you'll find that God's presence walks in. You may not always understand the purpose of the season, but you can always trust the provision of the season. Because God doesn't send you into battle without weapons. He doesn't allow storms without anchoring you first. He never places you in a new place without planting something in you that will thrive there. Sometimes we assume we're only equipped for certain environments, when people like us, when the finances are strong, when the plans go right. But the truth is, your gifting works in the wilderness just like it works in the palace. Your calling still carries power even when you feel uncertain. Faith doesn't require perfect conditions. In fact, it shines brightest in imperfect ones. You don't need everything around. What you need is already inside of you, rising in the moment it's needed most. When you feel like giving up, when the pressure feels too much, remind yourself, I've been built for this. Even if you don't feel, you are carrying the solution to what you're facing. Even if you can't see the outcome, you are connected to the one who already knows the ending. Your feelings may fluctuate, but your foundation is steady. You weren't just built for sunny days. You were built to survive storms and still keep your peace. There's a reason some people look at you and wonder how you keep going. They don't understand the inner reservoir you're drawing from. They don't see the late nights you've pushed through, the prayers you've whispered in silence, the tears you've turned into fuel. They don't know that behind the smile is a fighter. Behind the calm is a warrior. And behind your grace is grit that only God could have given. What if the season you're in right now isn't about punishment, but about proving to you what's already inside you? What if it's not to slow you down, but to show you the depth of your strength? Sometimes it takes a hard season to bring out the hidden tools you didn't know you had. The leadership that only rises in chaos. The resilience that only appears in failure. The endurance that only grows under pressure. God is not exposing your weakness. He's revealing your capacity. And when the season changes, and it always does, you'll be able to look back and say, I made it through that. I came out wiser. I came out stronger. I didn't fold. I didn't fold. I didn't break. I may have cried, but I kept walking. I may have doubted, but I didn't quit. That is the power of knowing you've been equipped. You don't have to pray to be ready. You just have to walk in the readiness you already have. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just take the next step with what you got. Whether you're in a season of plenty or a season of pruning, season of peace or a season of pressure, know that you are covered, equipped, and capable. The same God who saw you before the season began is walking with you through it, and He's already positioned you to come out better than you went in. You are not empty. You are not unqualified. You are equipped. For this moment, test this journey. And because you're equipped, you will endure and you will win. You were never created to just get by, to blend in, or to live a life of quiet resignation. You weren't put on this earth just to go to work, pay bills, and hope to make it through the week. There is a reason you're here, and it's bigger than your background, bigger than your circumstances, and bigger than any label someone tried to put on you. You were designed for impact. That means your life is meant to leave something behind. You're not just passing through. You're making a mark. Before you were ever formed in your mother's womb, there was intention behind your existence. God didn't create you in bulk. He didn't make you by mistake. You were handcrafted, wired with precision, and infused with the kind of purpose that stretches beyond your own lifetime. You've been given something to carry, something only you can release. The way you think, the way you love, the way you serve, the way you lead, it all carries power. There is someone waiting on the other side of your obedience. Someone who will be changed because you showed up, because you spoke up, because you didn't quit. And here's the truth. Impact doesn't always look like stadiums, stages, or social media followers. Sometimes the deepest impact happens in hidden places. In the home, in the workplace, in a conversation when someone is about to give up, but you speak life into them. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every time you choose integrity over compromise, every time you keep going when quitting would be easier, you are making impact. You are shifting atmospheres without even realizing it. You are changing lives simply by living yours with purpose. You don't have to be famous to be effective. You don't need a platform to have power. What makes you impactful is not how loud you are, but how faithful you are. It's not about being known by the world. It's about being obedient to the one who created it. When you start living like your life matters, your steps begin to carry weight. Your presence becomes a message. Your actions become a testimony. And the world begins to change. Not because you shouted the loudest, but because you lived the most sincerely. There's something incredible that happens when a person realizes they are here for more than survival. Their posture changes. Their decisions shift. They stop wasting energy on distractions and start investing in destiny. They stop waiting for the perfect conditions and start building where they are. They stop chasing validation and start walking in their own divine rhythm. That kind of person doesn't just live life, they multiply it. They light a fire in others. They stir dreams in the discouraged. They restore hope in those who have given up. They don't take the atmosphere. They transform it. And yes, you'll be misunderstood sometimes. People may question your passion, your discipline, your pursuit. That's because most people settle for average, and anything above that will always stir resistance. But don't let small minds shrink your big calling. Don't water down your purpose just because it makes someone else uncomfortable. You weren't designed to fit in. You were born to stand out. You weren't built to play it safe. You were meant to set things in motion. Even when you feel overlooked or underestimated, impact is still flowing through you. In fact, some of the most impactful people are those who never got the credit, but still kept showing up. They kept planting seeds they might never see grow. They kept loving people who didn't return it. They kept working with excellence, even when no one clapped. Why? Because they understood this simple truth. Purpose is bigger than recognition. Don't fall for the lie that your contribution doesn't matter. If you weren't needed, you wouldn't be here. If your role was insignificant, God wouldn't have written you into the story. You are part of something eternal, and your decisions right now are shaping a future you can't even see yet. Someone's freedom is tied to your courage. Someone's healing is connected to your words. Someone's destiny will be confirmed because of your example. So wake up each day knowing you carry weight. Walk into rooms knowing you've been sent there, not just to take space, but to release grace. Don't let fear keep you silent when your voice carries the answer. Don't let insecurity keep you seated when you were made to lead. Don't let past failure convince you that your future is limited. If anything, your story, flaws and all, is what makes your impact even more powerful. People aren't inspired by perfection. They're moved by perseverance. You were designed for impact. You're not an accident. You're not invisible. And you're not here just to exist. You are part of a divine assignment. Heaven has trusted you with gifts, with influence, with time. And what you do with that is how you'll shape eternity. You don't have to change the whole world to make a difference. Just change one life, one moment, one atmosphere, and you've already started a ripple that will echo farther than you can imagine. You may not see it yet, you may not feel it right now, but I want to remind you with everything in me, you are fully loaded. You're not waiting to become qualified. You've already been chosen. You're not trying to catch up. You're right on time for what God has already prepared. Inside of you is strength for the storm, faith for the fight, grace for the journey, and power for the purpose ahead. You have everything you need. It's not coming later. It's not dependent on others. It's already been deposited. Your gift is already in motion. Your breakthrough has already been scheduled. Your impact is already unfolding. You are not behind. You're being built. You're not empty. You've been equipped. And you're not average. You were designed to shift the world around you. Don't be discouraged by what you see. Don't be intimidated by what's against you. And don't be distracted by how long it's taking. This isn't just survival. It's divine strategy. Heaven has loaded you with wisdom for the challenge, endurance for the pressure, and vision for what's coming. You were born with purpose, born with power, born with destiny in your DNA. So walk boldly, dream freely, speak confidently, live intentionally. And every time fear tries to whisper that you're not enough, reminded of the truth, you are fully loaded. Every tool, every ounce of favor, every open door, every breakthrough, it's already been aligned. You just have to step into it. You just have to believe it. Or you just have to be who you were created to be. Because the world doesn't need another copy. It needs what you carry. It needs your voice, your vision, your heart, your presence. So take your place. Use what you've got. And never forget, you're not striving to receive power. You're walking in what you already have. You are fully loaded. Now go like it.